Hello, my name is Precious Thomas. I am attending Herzing University. It is 8/11/2024. Dr. Professor McKee. Today I'm going to be talking about systemic racism. A big problem today is systemic racism, which is very difficult to trace but requires quick intervention. Americans' daily interaction do not go by without racial bias, which shows up in areas like personal ability, social structure, and institutional structure, or skills is essential. What I'm going to talk about today is racism and other kinds of systemic oppression. Systemic racism is a concept that operates within society when the intentions and awareness aspects are known and unknown. The fact that these responses are based on bias and negativity brings out the origin of racism. As I explained, the systemic racism, the U.S. historical origin of race based on social, political, and economic factors has made it possible with time. The history of the U.S. supports the idea of race from the colonial era to independence. And even after the abolition of slavery, it found its way back into national constitution. One major factor that highlights systemic racism is that even as efforts to ensure equal voting rights, end slavery, and introduce equal protection rights through the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment came to life, a new principle came to life. In social situations, whites were always better than blacks, even at the lowest levels. The cause of the new systemic racism came after the highly contested 1876 election that led to the removal of the federal troops in the South. A new form of systemic racism was born. It was the absence of the federal troops whose purpose was to ensure black civil rights that instead gave life to a racial subordination known as Jim Crow. The best way we can end systemic racism and oppression is by ensuring systemic equality. Every top administration, official, and the Justice Department must ensure that there is no violation in the voting rights. The presence of unlawful hindrance to voting in certain parts of the country is one aspect that will ensure systemic equality. Other areas include fair housing, debt, and representation of minority groups. Equal representation can also help in racial systems. Thank you.